got a friend who was stage manager at the Ardwick Apollo, so I was lucky enough to stand on stage in the wings whilst Tina Turner performed. Wow, that'd be amazing. Ian, thank you for that. So come on, friends and family, those people who've got jobs that you basically take advantage of, or do you have a job where you find that everybody calls you, everyone gets in touch with you, and you think it's because you're, a nice person, but actually they just want to use whatever trade it is you have. 0800 218 2255. You can text 81333. Start your text with the word Manc. Phone lines closed, by the way, now for the definition quiz. We'll select somebody at random and play the game with them very shortly. I tell you who would be worth knowing, and that is Liz Taylor. Liz is on this week's Manchester People, because if you're going to be organising a bash, then Liz is the woman to know. She is the millionaire party planner from Didsbury, and she's featured her story all this week on Manchester People. Today, she's telling us about the early days of her career in the party business, and I asked Liz about whether she actually has got more in common with the Liz Taylor than you might have thought, because Liz's personal life includes 3 marriages.
Do we have to go down that route? 3 later.
It is Liz Taylor.
It is. And everyone has that reaction. Everyone sort of bursts out laughing and says, no, really, it can't be. But listen, the success has cost me. I've got 2 gorgeous children and I've got 3 amazing grandchildren. And my daughters were from my second marriage. I married at 21 and divorced at 22. And remarried at 27. I was married for 6 years and had 2 children. And then the recent marriage was something that I never anticipated ending. So it's been a very difficult time for me. But I'm married to my job. And I'm married to my kids. And I suppose there's a price to pay for everything.
So take me back to that first event that you organised. You mentioned the Midland Hotel. They were after doing an event. So where did you start? How did it all happen?
It was crazy, but I really, really believe in fate. So I met the 2 guys that were designing Granada Studios tour, and it was on the drawing board. And we met, I think, in Hale Wine Bar. I can't even remember. And I was just fiddling about with, was I going to do this? And I'd had this opportunity. And they introduced me to a set designer who was building stuff and props for Granada Studios. And it all evolved. And so when there were 2 hats, really. I used his services to sort of create the wow, and he built me, for the second event I did, he built me an Eiffel Tower, and Ainsley Harriot's dad, Chester, was playing at Bavardage. He played the piano. He was the most wonderful pianist. And I got him to play at this Hollywood night by the pool. It just, all the pieces of jigsaw came together. And then I became preferred supplier at Granada. So if you went to Granada Studios tour when it was built, Baker Street, the Starlight Theatre, all these sets, you wanted to go for a corporate event or a private event or a bar mitzvah or whatever, they recommended my services, and we did the production, we did the theming. And I realised then that it was the relationships with the venues and the key people. And also I learned very, very early on, and this is crucial, never, ever underestimate anybody. We're also influenced by how people communicate, what they look like, what clothes they wear. Never. Because some of the most unassuming people have held the biggest budgets. It's not the CEO, it's the CEO's sidekick. And that's been probably the best, or that is the best advice I could give anybody. And so then I got into the Lowry Hotel, and I got into the Victorian Albert Hotel, and formed these relationships with the people that I knew were the salespeople. I prostituted myself around a little bit, around the city with my briefcase, and that's how I built the business.
Do you know, it's funny, Granada Studio Tours comes up quite a lot when we're doing these chats, because it was such a big part of Manchester, wasn't it? And when you think back, what amazing backdrops to hold parties at.
It was phenomenal. I mean, that Baker Street set, those sets were phenomenal, and it was a great shame that we did a Coronation Street, I think it was a summer party or a 40th, one of the parties, and we put the marquee up on the street for the cast. And there's something, and I know this is ridiculous, but there is something seriously spine-tingling about walking down the street now. And I remember Ina Sharples and Minnie Caldwell, so I'm giving my age away here, but it's iconic, just as is Manchester United. You know, I've worked for Manchester United since 1995. I never realised they had to qualify for an FA Cup final, Champions League. I thought that every year they had a party until the 5th year they never got through. But I've been all over the world. You know, they're on my doorstep. And I've been very lucky that I've had such, iconic brands at my fingertips.
Have budgets changed? Because, 30 years ago, arguably, we were in an age where there was a bit more disposable income, especially, at the sort of top table. Has that changed very much?
What is a budget? Of course, budgets have changed. Listen, we've been through a horrendous recession. You know, all the banks, all the corporates, where they were having recognition events, gala dinners, award ceremonies, and they were spending £100,000 investing in their staff and getting a return out of it. That all stopped. There are a lot of high net worth individuals in the Northwest, and I think the perception that it's vulgar is, all the guys, all my high net worth individuals are all self-made. So I have the Caldwell family, I have the WeBuyAnyCar.com family, I have Flybe. These are all self-made multimillionaires, and for me, how they spend their money is their prerogative. I think it's when you're born with a silver spoon, then people perhaps are entitled to possibly criticise. But and it's how you spend your money, it's not how much money you spend. So budgets have changed, but more in the corporate perspective.
That's Liz Taylor, the millionaire party planner. Tomorrow, explaining how she ended up planning parties for a number of famous faces. Tomorrow, she'll be telling us about the time that she works with Gary Barlow.
Gary then introduced me to Robbie Williams, who then introduced me to Howard Donald, and so it went. And it is pyramid selling. But it's not because I'm in with the right people. It's because I assume that I do the best job. And so that's how the celebrity angle came in. And then I had all the Coronation Street cast. I've done their 40th, the 50th. I did Michelle Keegan's, Mark Wright's, because we're good.
Hear about those stories tomorrow with Liz Taylor on Manchester People at 3:30.